Let's talk some Florida Gator recruiting as the Gator high school class ended with a bang, and now the UF staff is hitting the portal hard. We're 2 days into transfer portal season, and the Gators already got some guys on campus. I got insider Corey Bender from Gators Online in this video. We're going to break down what are the Gators' most important targets heading into transfer portal season. All right, before we get to it, though, you guys do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. Okay. Let's bring on Corey Bender, Gators Online. Some intriguing names. I definitely want to talk wide receivers because with DJ Lagway kind of planting his flag, he's not going anywhere. We know they're trying to add some skill players. But first, already some big names on campus. Let's start with Keyshawn Silver, the big defensive lineman from Kentucky. What are you hearing on him? How big of a priority is he?
Yeah, so it's funny with Silver. He was a major priority for Dan Mullen's staff, too. So a lot of people that have been covering Florida know his name very well. He visited a lot in the past. And with Florida, too, Caleb Banks, one of their best defensive linemen, he's coming back. That was a big thing instead of him going to the draft. So getting him back obviously kind of softens the blow a little bit, but they're still losing Desmond Watson and Cam Jackson. So Florida definitely needs more interior help, and he's really at the top of the board for them, one of the only defensive linemen they've offered in the portal. USC, Miami, and Michigan are the other schools involved, so Florida's getting the first OV. So when I see that schedule, it tells me that this kid probably isn't going to make a decision right off that first visit. Florida's going to have to kind of push off those schools as the week progresses, but he's familiar with Florida from back in the past when I spoke to him a lot too. He loves Gainesville. He's really kind of it's really about just growing closer to that staff and seeing how he'd fit in with them. But obviously there's opportunity for him. And I think as far as getting on the field early, Florida's one of those schools that kind of probably gives them the best shot. When you look at Miami on the list and USC, first thing you think is probably NIL. I know it's going to be an NIL battle with this kid, but I think overall Florida has to feel pretty good. He's on campus for 2 days. And I think the biggest thing, Josh, we always talk about it, who's fresh in your mind, who gets the last visit. That might be the thing here. Florida's the first out of 4 visits for him. So Florida really has to make a good impression to kind of push off those schools as the week progresses. But from everything we've heard, Florida definitely has a really good shot with them. And he obviously sees the opportunity to play early. And NIL won't be an issue as far as in Gainesville either.
Yeah, it seems like a good fit. If it works out with these visits, the Gators got to hold on, make a really strong impression on this first trip. Another intriguing name, quarterback. I know, hey, he's expected in today, though. Justin Martin from UCLA. Yep. I get it. This is UF's looking for a quality backup here. We're not talking about replacing DJ Lagway, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely not, man. And I kind of said last week, too, it's a kind of an interesting scenario where it's kind of hard to recruit the position. You get Tramel Jones, obviously from the high school level, but he's going to be a true freshman, and he missed all this year due to injury. So you obviously can't expect too much from him right away. And with Florida, I kind of said last week, they need some kid that has sample size that's shown them, hey, this kid can play at the next level, but also young enough where it's intriguing to them that, he has years of eligibility and he'll be able to sit behind DJ Lagway. And Justin Martin's one of those. Florida hasn't offered yet, but, signs kind of point to him probably getting an offer on the visit. He's here from Wednesday through Friday. So that's obviously a good sign for him. I don't think they would, if they're not going to offer him, I'd be surprised they would even bring him in for this long of a visit. But another name last night, Deshaun Purdy from Charlotte, they actually did offer him. So right now, there's 2 quarterbacks really kind of firmly on the board. Purdy, who they already offered, and then Justin Martin, who was in town. Right. As far as Deshaun Purdy, same type of situation. He played his freshman year. It's like I said, he had like a little over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Nothing too crazy, but it's enough to kind of show Florida, hey, you can play at this level. And like you said, he's only a freshman too, so he also has a red shirt available. So I think those are 2 names right now at the top of the board. I spoke to someone late last night. OV isn't set with Purdy as of yet, but that's a work in progress. And Florida, they're in the Gasparilla Bowl next week, and we put this on the site, but Florida doesn't plan to host any transfers all throughout next week and not until next weekend. So they're trying to get as many guys in this week because most of them are going to be at bowl prep. So we'll see if Purdy can kind of squeeze in a visit at the end of this week. I think right now he might be the most likely scenario just considering he has a scholarship offer.
Right. Okay, so going in chronological order, we got Keyshawn Silver's been on campus already for 2 days. Justin Martin will be on campus today, and then on Friday, another big visit. Yeah, he's from Jacksonville State, but safety Zachariah Poyser is drawing interest from some big dogs, and it's easy to see why. He's one of the best safety prospects in the portal right now. He's coming in Friday. What's the Gators' angle here with Poyser?
Yeah, so it's so Vernell Brown, his dad, he actually represents him with the NIL as an agent. He also is a former teammate of Vernell Brown III over at Wildwood. So Gainesville's an hour away from where he grew up. Obviously, you have the Brown family, that familiarity. So going into the visit, you have to feel pretty good. Obviously, it gives him an opportunity to play big-time football close to home. Auburn and LSU are both getting visits as well, so it's not going to be some just easy kind of he gets in the class. Obviously, he's going to take visits to all three schools this week. But when you kind of look at the outside looking in, Florida has some good safeties on the roster, but they're all – Jordan Castell's a good player, but, he's entering his junior year. You obviously have Hilton Stubbs coming in and some other younger guys who are studs, but obviously they're going to be true freshmen. So with Poyser, it gives them a guy with experience who can kind of mentor that younger group but also play on the field right away. It kind of reminds me of when they signed Trequezie Bridges last year from Oregon. It was the same type of thing. He came in and had a big impact and was ahead of those younger guys on the roster. But when you look at the him being an hour away from Gainesville and then his connection to Vernell Brown's family, you have to feel pretty good before going into this visit.
All right, let's get to the wide receiver position, because I think this is the position where the Gators can swing the biggest stick, because they have look, there's so many teams out there in the portal right now looking for a quarterback, and the Gators have one, so now they're looking for wide receivers. What's the buzz at the position right now, Corey?
Yeah, so Reggie Virgil, he's a guy at Miami, Ohio, really coveted, Florida State, Florida, Miami. He already has almost 20 offers since going to the portal, but he's from Mount Dora, so he grew up not too far from Gainesville as well. 6'4", a big threat, almost had 1,000 yards this past year at Miami, Ohio. So he's one guy Florida's really trying to push hard again on campus. I spoke to him again last night. He said, I'm trying to get to campus. But it started, Florida was one of the first major offers. Since then, all these offers have flooded in. So I think it's a tough decision to fit in all these visits. And like I said before, he wanted to visit next week during the week, but Florida's going to be at bowl prep. So they're trying to get that set up where he can come in before the end of this week. We'll see if that happens. But another one is Chase Sowell from East Carolina. His mom was actually an athlete at Florida. She attended there. So that's an offer in the family that they're all really excited about. Another guy obviously had big time production at ECU, a big target. And that's the thing with Florida. They have a lot of these smaller kind of in-space guys, Eugene Wilson, Vernell Brown, but they're looking for that big body target with Elijah Badger heading out. Shamir Dyke obviously is another one, Shamir Dike. So obviously they need a few of these big body wide receivers to come to campus, and those are two guys that Florida has a really good shot with. With Chase Sowell, he actually has an OV scheduled for later this week. And you actually see on Twitter his dad quote tweeted when he got the offer, and you can see the excitement in the family. The kid hasn't named a leader or anything like that, but you can tell the family's really excited for him to maybe possibly follow in the footsteps of his mother. And two other guys worth mentioning is Oklahoma's Nick Anderson. He's another guy, missed all this year due to injury, but the year prior to that, he had about 800 yards receiving, another big body coming in from Oklahoma. We haven't received word yet if an OV is scheduled just yet, but Florida's on that short list. And another one, obviously, is Alabama's Caleb Odom. I think Colorado, you got to look at them as the early leader right now. He's going out to Boulder this weekend for an OV, but Florida was pushing hard for him out of high school. And they're going to be swinging the fences for him too. Obviously, he's 6'5", an elite former 5-star guy. So like you said, Josh, they're swinging the fences for a lot of big name guys in the portal. So I think when you look at familiar names that Florida could possibly get, I think it's at that wide receiver position.
Well, it is heating up in the portal for the Florida Gators. So Gator fans, talk to Corey and I. How are you feeling about these options? Who's your top target right now in the transfer portal? Let us know. Comment section below.